Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to a beautiful day in which we can partake in a beautiful session of Spiritual Sessions Sundays with
Debbie Gray and
more Young. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using this voice, it's because I'm trying to be in the mood of a spiritual session. Is it working, Deborah?
yes, you're putting me asleep. You're putting me asleep.
Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. So we're going to just delve right in, and we're hoping that you guys have had a great week. And we're going to go a little off the cuff today. We're going to do our commandment, of course, and we have a little bit of a topic that we're going to discuss. But today is primarily all about what you want and the things that you're thinking about and what's on your mind. And if not, and if you have nothing to say, I'm sure that because Debbie talks a lot, I'm sure that we have enough stuff to discuss. So before we start, let us just take a meditation moment and get into the groove of things and set the tone, and we'll be back. Hey, that felt good. That was nice. That was really nice. Okay, everybody, welcome back, or if you're just signing on, welcome to Spiritual Session Sundays with Debbie Cray. And
William.
yep. So let's start with our first commandment. What is that, Kat? Kat is our producer. Hi, Kat. Thou shalt strive to be compassionate. Thou shalt strive to be compassionate. So what we have done here on Spiritual Sessions, for those who don't know, is that Debbie and I have comprised a spirituality for dummies list of commandments that we try to live by.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on 9, and probably next week we might start again from the beginning. Oh, here we go. Look at this. So these are the 10 commandments. And why am I saying 11? Okay, so we have 11 commandments. We have 11 commandments. And we are on number 9. And then we'll go through the next 2. And I want to start again to see what our growth has been. So, right? So today's commandment is number 9, which is what, Kat, again? Thou shalt strive to be more compassionate. Kat, before we start, is there anybody in watching us or with us yet? If not, we will just move on. Mm-hmm. So, Deb, what does that mean to you, striving to be more compassionate?
It's really about trying to see things from a different perspective with other people, to try and always put yourself in another person's place and try and understand where they're coming from, and trying to be mindful of not imposing our own opinions on things, because sometimes people are very quick to get angry and blame, and they're not realizing where the other person is coming from. They're not seeing what the other person's going through. So I think we need to be mindful. You know, there is a phrase about it: be careful the words you use. You don't know what someone's going through. So apart from trying to help others and be of service, and wake up in being of service to help others, I think it's trying to see, always try to see where the other person's coming from and feel compassionate.
Okay, so with that being said, so more compassionate. What does that mean?
More compassionate. I don't think a lot of people practice compassion anymore. And if you look at all the gurus and the Dalai Lama and even Buddha, all these people, if you look on the premise of what spirituality is, forgiveness is on there, to be more compassionate is on there. And it's to get outside your own stuff and your own nonsense and find a way to feel caring for other people, a way to find love for other people. So we need to try harder. For me, I think we need to get outside of our own bubbles and see how the world is and what other people are going through, and be a lot more aware and mindful, and try to do better.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I love the fact that we are yin and yang, because you just gave a very technical overview of being more compassionate. I have to use an example.
Okay.
I am definitely compassionate toward the elephant in the room that's been in the media for the past 2 weeks, and that's Will Smith and Jada at Oxford, right? So I am compassionate, very compassionate about the things that Will has gone through and is going through, to a point of admitting himself into a mental rehabilitation clinic. So I'm very, very compassionate. But I'm more compassionate, for real, to Jada. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because you know how I feel about her and that whole situation. And I think that this situation would not be a situation had it not been her toxicity and her just being Jada.
Yeah.
But I'm more compassionate to what her struggle must have been, growing up in the household that she grew up in, where she was raised. And I'm more compassionate because if her children emancipated themselves at 16 years old, that must have been a whole situation based on who she is. So I'm finding myself more compassionate, and I'm not by any means taking anything away from how I thought she dealt with it. But I'm finding myself to be more compassionate and trying to figure out what woman does this, or what person has the capability of doing it. So I'm just not right or wrong, and I may not even find an answer, but I'm trying to become more compassionate.
Yeah.
Less, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is a great example to what I was saying. This is looking at something where you can be obviously judgmental, or be very quick to have different ideas about what that is, or condemn. But when you kind of look deeper, as you said, and you look at the household you grew up in, this is what I'm talking about, is look behind the scenes. So for me, an example is when I'm working with my clients, and whether the parent is alive or dead. Sometimes that happens in mediumship, where someone comes through and, they always try to communicate what their childhoods were like in ways that maybe the client doesn't know. So they're sharing, saying, I take ownership and responsibility, but I'm also a victim of my own circumstance, because I wasn't given the tools to show love. I wasn't giving the love myself. I wasn't nurtured. My mother died when I was 10, or whatever the case may be. And when you see the adult and the who they become because of all of those things, when you go back and actually look at how their lives were and how they struggled, you can feel a lot more compassion. And then when the compassion sets in, the forgiveness sets in. You can't forgive someone without feeling compassionate towards that person and understanding on some level how something is not right in them, or it's important to feel the compassion and be able to let go of something, I feel.
Now for me, who touts himself as being a non-judgmental individual, where do you feel, or do you feel that judgment and compassion play a part in each other? Because for me, like let's go back to the Jada thing. I don't judge her by any means, but I had little to no compassion for her initially.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't. I called a spade, and I think she's toxic, and she is toxic as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not judging her for it. I'm not saying she's going to hell because she's judging me, but I'm finding compassion and sympathy. You know. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do you find the balance, especially when you're a person like me? Where do you find the balance where you separate compassion from judgment? Because sometimes a person can be so judgmental that they don't have compassion.
Right.
That's not me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
right.
Go ahead.
Well, there's
right.
there's different layers when you start on a spiritual journey and working it down. There's all kinds of judgment. There's lots and lots of layers of judgment. Judgment is like putting a label on things. Judgment is, so when we say, oh, well, she's toxic, people are jumping automatically to her, judging her. Oh, well, that must be her. So even singling her out as being the reason behind would also be seen as judgment. So you kind of start breaking it down. It's not like, oh, I think she's fat and ugly. It's not just about those things. There's layers of judgment. So just kind of even choosing her and saying, well, she's toxic would be deemed as a judgment in spirituality because you've labeled that person or you've pointed towards that person. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I don't agree with it because I'm not labeling. All right, so here's the deal. My feelings to her, all right, so I recognize her behavior as being toxic. I recognize her behavior as being toxic. I don't know that I'm saying she is toxic. It's almost like crackheads. Crackheads are crackheads. They are people who are addicted to crack. Then there are some people who are not addicted to crack, who have crackish ways. Oh my God! No, but I'm just trying. Listen, I'm keeping it real with the people who have crackish. Shut up, Debbie Craig. Okay. Who have crackish ways, right? So, but they're not a crackhead. So in my brain,
it's okay.
Don't patronize me. In my brain, there are toxic ways, and I don't think. All right, for instance, am I judging you if I say you're a white girl with blonde hair? That's not a judgment. That's a fact. That is what it is. So that's not judgment. So if I'm saying Jada's toxic, that's not judgment. That's just calling it toxic. If I say you're a crybaby, I'm not judging you. Not at all. I'm just saying you're a crybaby. See what I'm saying? So for me, there's a fine line, because like you were saying in spirituality, it's a judgment call. I don't agree with that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not judging her or saying she's a good person or a bad person or whatever, but I believe that she's toxic. So my point is, I'm finding compassion to her toxicity. That's the word, right? Toxicity, right? Because it comes from her background and this and that, so I'm being compassionate toward it as opposed to being angry, or in addition to where my anger comes from. You know what I mean?
That would just, basically, it has been scientifically proven that people do judge somebody or something within 90 seconds of meeting them. So it's in the human nature as a way of survival to be able to look at something and put a label on it. That's still considered judgment. But maybe the beginning is she's toxic is kind of a semi-judgment, but then going deeper than that is the compassion.
Disagree.
Behind
I totally disagree because they are all right. So let's deal with people with weight challenges. If a person is overweight, considering what we call overweight, I don't think that's judging them because they're overweight. It's an observation. If I were to say that person needs to stop eating so much, therein lies the judgment. As far as I'm concerned. So I don't care if it's scientifically proven. I don't give a crap who said it. I am not a person who judge. I don't find, for me, Judgment is making a call on whether you think it's right or you think it's wrong or what you would do or that's judgment to me. You know what I mean? I think that if I'm just stating what is obvious to me, I don't think that's necessarily judgment call. Because all right, so for instance, if let's go back to the person who's overweight, what would your first thought be? All right, so if we saw somebody morbidly obese, what would your first thought be, or how would you look at that situation? From a compassionate standpoint, or from a point of the obvious, and then into compassion, how would you deal with that?
For me now, with more knowledge, I would say when I was a child, I would probably just have a judgment and go, "Oh my God, look how fat that person is! Look how overweight that person is." But now, later on, being more sort of mature and looking at life from a different perspective, I would feel more compassionate because I know how much that person must be in pain to be that overweight, and also how their health is suffering from being that overweight. So it pains me now when I see it.
Okay, I gotta stop you. That's my point. There's a difference between saying that person is overweight versus look how overweight that person is.
That's judgment.
That's judgment.
Yeah.
So see, I go, oh, that person's overweight.
Okay.
Then I guess the regular person will go, look how overweight that person is.
Yeah.
You understand? You understand that fine line? It's such a fine line.
Yeah.
So good morning, Zarut. You see what I'm saying? So I go out of my way. Well, it's been a long time that I just don't judge because it is what the crap it is. You see what I'm saying? So where Lady Pinkett is involved, I find her to be a toxic individual. Now we know that what comes with toxic is a underlying negative connotation. We know that, right? So I'm not. Maybe I am judging her. I don't know. I don't that situation, but generally, so I guess my point is this: judgment and toxicity can be judgment and compassion can be separated and hand in hand to a certain point.
I think kind of like the flip side of yes and no. I think the flip side of it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Right.
Because the flip side of the situation is if you see somebody say, well, it serves them right that they are sitting there on the park bench drinking, they're alcoholics. Right. Where is the compassion in that?
None.
There's zero at all.
None.
So the person is judging that person, and there's an inability in them to be able to feel compassion towards why that person's on the bench. Does that make sense?
Makes sense because the first thing I would say is, oh, that is so sad.
Right.
They're on the bench.
Right. Exactly. That's the compassion. A person who judges it isn't feeling the compassion for that person. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like a flip of a switch. You could also be said to be opposites, but there are layers of judgment. So you can look at something initially and see it as a certain way, and then go deeper. And go, actually, when I think about it, and go deeper. So, like Stone Cold, even.
Stone Cold.
Judgment means zero compassion. But there's a part of us as human beings that need to compartmentalize things and understand it. And sometimes we see it as that's still considered spiritually as you break things down. That kind of.
No, here's it. Well, let's deal with this. Judgment is not always negative because judgment can be observation. Right. Right.
Right.
And I think there's been so much negativity associated with judgment calls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That I think we kind of lose our way. Like, for instance, I have an issue with the court of law, right? Especially in America, when no matter what your belief is, when did you say yes? Yes. Okay. I have an issue with the court of law. For instance, you go to court, you put your hand on the Bible, right, and swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, right? But then if the premise of the truth is the Bible, it clearly says thou shalt not kill. It never, you know what I'm saying? So there's so many contradictions in that whole judicial process within itself. So it kind of smears what judgment is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's a little deep, huh?
Yes.
That's kind of deep, huh?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can pat me in the back. I can do some deep stuff sometimes. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yes. So the judgment thing is deep for me because I don't know where so let's talk about that real quick and we'll get back to the
blurry
compassion.
lines. There's blurry lines.
Blurry. Do you ever think, and we'll get into compassion, do you ever think there is this is a good question for you.
Oh God.
No. Do you think that there's a proper time that a judicial system should take the life of somebody, execution style, through the government or this, that, and the other? Death penalty. Or should we be compassionate and not have the right to take a life? Who says they have the right to take a life?
It's a big topic.
I know. That's that's my point. Judgment and compassion.
One of the things I'll say is interesting. There was a film. Was it Sean Penn was the one in prison? I can't remember who it was. But basically, from the whole movie, you were shown a certain thing to make you see why he should get the death penalty. All these things.
Who are we to ever take a life?
No, but listen.
I'm listening.
In the movie, it's very interesting. I can't remember if someone out there remembers. I think Susan Sarandon was the lawyer. I think so. They go through all these things. You know what I'm talking about? The film. They go through all these things where you feel that he did these heinous things, like brutally murdered people, doing all these different things. And there's a fight for him not to get the death penalty. And as you go through the movie, you start feeling, because of what they show you and flashbacks, supposedly with him doing these things, you start to feel like what a monster. And, you kind of start feeling that he needs to go, what a monster he is. And then as the movie starts moving, you find he actually didn't do it. And you're trying to see the person coming in. And it's just, it plays with your mind. It's the only movie I've ever seen that does that. It plays with that human judgment thing.
But even so, who are we to judge that? Because let me say, at the end of the day, the person who knows that they're going to be executed, the person that knows they're going to be executed, if you believe in spirituality like we do, they get the better hand because they get to get it right before they leave. They get to ask you see what I'm saying? So they get to go into the next life in the light because they deal with the error of their ways before they go, and this, that, and the other. So they get because although we may think we're getting vindication because we're ending their life, why is that always a bad thing? They're ending their life on this plane.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So so we're satisfying ourselves. We're being judgmental and satisfying ourselves because that person may be like, listen, I've been ready to go for a very, very long time. Thanks. I just want, I want to go on this next level of spirituality, like on a different plane. And you know what I'm saying? So maybe that's not, if you're trying to make someone suffer, then make them suffer. Cut off an appendage. I'm just saying, if there's a monster and you want to judge something, then they should suffer because death is not always suffering.
No, it's not.
Woo, that was deep. Can we go to commercial? And if you'd like to be reminded of when Justin Norwood, Night School, or Spiritual Session Sundays with Debbie Cray is on live, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Norwood Young's Wonderful World, and then click notifications and then choose all. Phew, I know it's a lot, but that's what we got to do. See you then. Hey, and we're back, and we're back, and we're back. So, yes, if you saw the little avatars of me, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We were on hiatus for a bit to just revamp, recoup. So we got to let people know that we are here again, right?
Yep.
And we are here again. And yeah, we look forward to spiritual sessions Sundays. So we just talked about compassion and judgment. And I think that we have to go back into, at some point, the whole judicial system as it deals with spirituality, because that's a really good thing. That's a good topic that we just tapped on.
Mm-hmm.
And is a person actually suffering when they are sentenced to death? Or is that for our own gratification? Because that's what we need to gratify. Yeah, we killed that sucker. Well, guess what? I'm up here smiling at you. I got ready to dress the. I almost dropped the F-bomb. I'm in the universe laughing at you fools suffering while I'm up here and I killed you, but I'm good because I made it right.
Yeah. And the whole thing open is, if they kill somebody, do they really go to heaven and look down at you? Or are they in hell looking up at you?
Yeah, but
that's an open and a whole other thing.
No. For instance, Norwood Young, you are sentenced to death in 30 days. 30 days. I go www.debbiecraig.com. Right. Okay, Debbie, you're a healer. I need to get this stuff right. I'm getting ready to leave. How do I set myself up to be into the light and be forgiven? You give me the antidote. I do all my stuff, my crystals, my incense, my sage, and boom, 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 boom. And then they give me the lethal injection and boom, and I'm going up there.
No, it's not that simple.
Well, I'm just saying.
I have, it's a thing to take a life. I have worked with maybe 6 people who've killed somebody. It's not my place to judge when someone comes for the healing. I mean, it could be the Army, the Navy, the Marines, whatever. But they see themselves as murdering somebody. Their psyche changes. So I think it's different. Their souls are heavier, even when you see them living life. Unless you have someone with mental issues who have no conscience.
But so here's my question. Okay, we're not going to touch the topic yet because we're still here. My question is, if a person, let's say the worst thing, is a murderer, how do they at the end of the day become forgiven and walk with people in life? Or what is the debt that needs to be paid spiritually?
Well, it's a big one. It depends on whether the person has a conscience and does
the
remorse.
The person has conscience. A person is remorseful. Okay, I killed somebody. I'm oh so sorry. I'm getting ready to be executed in 30 days. But I want my transition to be a great one because I am very sorry. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean it.
Okay, so they will go.
I didn't mean it.
You'll go in the light. You'll go in the light. But your karma will be different when you're born back again for you to learn certain things.
That's fine. Yeah. But my point is that validates my point. So while we are getting self-gratification and killing somebody, this this murderer who is remorseful is onto their next journey. You see what I'm saying? So that goes back to my point. We are doing stuff for ourselves, just like funerals are for the living, not for the dead. Same kind of situation. All right, we're gonna revisit that thing. We're gonna revisit that thing. All right. So that was our commandment.
Yep.
Debbie Craig.
Yep.
What is a soulmate to you?
Ooh. That is a big one.
So is it? So let me expound on that.
Expound. Hang on, let me get my dictionary.
Let me talk more about that. All right.
All right.
So, is a soulmate? Do you consider a soulmate to be exactly that? Two souls that have met or are about to meet? Is it your love mate? Is it your twin flame?
Don't even get me going on twin flames.
Okay, well we don't have time to explain what the twin flame is.
No.
Let's deal with the Yeah, we do. What's the twin flame?
Oh God. Okay.
I think it's a bunch of crap.
It
but-
is a bunch of crap.
Okay.
And I believed in it for a while, and I know for a fact it's a bunch of crap. And there'll be people out there hating me for it. The reason that I kind of know it's a bunch of crap is, here's the thing.
Can you say what it, for people that don't know, can you say what a twin flame is
A
meant
twin
to be?
flame is meant to be a soul that splits in half and goes down looking for its other half. And when you join with each other, it's meant to be magnetic. It's meant to be really intense. But unfortunately, when you look at the twin flame, there are 7 stages of twin flame relationship. So, you know, you first meet, and then there's going to be one soul, part of the soul that's not as elevated as the other. So there's this backward and forwarding. They're probably married, or they're probably not available. And then they take time to figure out that you're it. And then there's all these other levels of it. And if you see anyone talking about twin flame, they're in a narcissistic, toxic relationship, waiting to work their way down. Oh, they'll come back to me and he'll do this.
Well,
So it's actually giving people excuses to stay in bad relationships.
well, I'm nuts because your opening statement was, it's a soul that splits and looks for its other half.
Yeah, that's what the definition is supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm not splitting nothing. I'm taking my entire soul and I'm going to find an entire soul. And in my brain, we would mesh. Because if I'm starting out with half, looking for another half, and I'm picking up your baggage and crap. No, that's just.
So I met somebody, and a psychic told me that they were my twin flame.
Mm.
And I went through a really, really painful, like excruciating painful time with this person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's one of the parts of the twin flame steps. Because what you're supposed to do is feel that depth of pain as a
Pick on
soul.
somebody else's
I'll-
baggage.
No, I'll work through it so that that other soul, that's your other half, who's not as elevated as you spiritually, benefits because you work through
But then
it.
you're not a
You
twin flame. A twin flame
That's what
is-
it's supposed to be. You're supposed to, one of them is meant to be more spiritually
Mm-mm,
open,
mm-mm.
and you go through the crap so they elevate. That's
Twin means
So-
the exact same.
right.
So-
Right. So the souls are meant to be exactly the same, but the work one has done over the other to elevate spiritually is not meant to be. So one is meant to lift the other. And it's generally, by the way, the women. But here's the thing. If twin flame is actually real and you are in a twin flame relationship, here's the thing. Do you think every single person in the last 5 years is in their last incarnation? They're never going to come back? Because that's one of the signs. That's the reason you're meant to suffer. If you really are twin flame, you're meant to suffer because it's your last incarnation, and you're meant to fulfill all of your soul requirements on your soul contract. Not everybody is rare to be in their last incarnation, and that's when you're meant to meet your twin flame, because you finally found each other, and that's the parts that you've got to finish to make right.
I think it's bullcrap.
Mm.
I think it's bullcrap from the title, because twins are twins. You are identical. So then all right. So let's say maternal twins, right? Look alike, the whole thing. And then and within that, sometimes there's the evil twin and the good twin.
Yeah, 2 different personalities depending.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of what they're saying. 2 parts of the soul, the kind of darker side and the lighter side. And the lighter side is meant to elevate the darker side so it can rejoin when it connects. That's why I said is a lot of, and I listened to it
That's
for
malarkey.
I listened to it for a couple of years, and then I started working with people to say, "Do you do twin flame reading?" And I said, "Yeah," and I just helped them understand it, and they moved on from the toxic
Yeah, I
relationship.
think that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
crazy. All right. So let's go back to soulmates. What is your definition?
Just to end on that, I think that what they call twin flame relationship is actually a karmic relationship. That's
Okay.
that's basically what it really is.
And that
they
makes
just-
more sense.
Yeah, and they just
I don't believe it, but it makes more sense.
No, it is.
Okay.
So for me, I know what soulmate is because I have the mind sitting beside me.
Okay.
You can have more than one soulmate. So there's a lot of misconceptions on what a soulmate is. So there are families or groups of souls called monarchs.
Monards.
Soul monarchs.
MONARDS. Monards.
Yes.
Soul monards.
Soul monarchs. Stars, whatever you want to call them.
Mhm.
A cluster of souls, different souls. And you can look this up. They break into branches of souls. Like there's been books written on this. It's very, very deep. But the bottom line is, it's not just the lifetimes that you have gone through that you recognize each other in, because you can have past lives with so many people. You're not on all soulmates. So what that is you're from a certain family of souls,
Mm-hmm.
right? A group of souls. And I've seen this, I've meditated through
Mm-hmm.
this.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come down and you meet somebody from your soul family,
Mm-hmm.
it's an instant recognition of that soul
Mm-hmm.
because it's from that same cluster, it's from that same monarch.
Mm-hmm.
So there are things that you're supposed to teach each other and help each other with. It's not the same as the karmic soul. So soulmates can end up marrying each other because they fall in love, because they feel that connection as well, or they can be friends for life, all those things. So you can have about 5 or 6. It's not always a romantic relationship, but it's a very powerful, strong, loving relationship between two people that keep elevating each other, supporting each other. So it's rare to meet a soulmate, but it's not toxic like the karmic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my understanding.
Yeah, and I think that the term is so overused, but is based on, I think, ignorance.
Yeah.
Because just because two people, and it's generally people call other people their soulmate in relation to relationships, but having a soulmate is not just somebody that you have an exceeding amount of things in coincidence in common with.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
A soulmate is when, in my opinion, is when you share thoughts, when you share, and not only because of being in the same environment all the time. It's just who you are in your soul. It's just who you are, and you connect and you attract that same person with those same soul experiences.
Yeah, that's because of the soul group.
That's because of the monarch.
The monarch, the soul monarch.
See what I did there?
But it's true. That's why we have, if you want to put it this way, the same kind of mission or the same kind of understanding of why we're here. So the thinking kind of aligns up. And if you see people who say that I married my soulmate, they live happily ever after. I mean, you don't see that relationship ever breaking up. And that's because it's a meeting of the minds, it's a meeting of the hearts. So whatever you go through, you will always be able to come and support each other and arrive at an understanding of something.
And I think it's a great thing if a person has the ability to marry their soulmate.
Yeah, so do I.
Because in a lot of cases, they don't and think they are. And then that is why they're so disappointed or resentful, because you find that it's really not just soulmate,
right.
Which is not a bad thing, but you just set yourself up for the okie doke and calling them your soulmate, right. Because you've had these expectations. Right. But perhaps if you don't have those expectations, it's okay not to marry your soulmate, because it's more often than not.
But there's more than one soulmate.
Right. I definitely have a few soulmates, you know, and I think there's just a misconception of what that is.
Yeah.
Hey, Kat, Madam Producer, what's your definition or relationship with soulmates? Do you have one?
Why are you bringing me on the show today?
We can't see your face. We can't see your beautiful face that you should be showing, because your soulmate would love to see it.
No, thank you. I'm good today. After 3 days of dentist, I'm good.
Okay.
Soulmates for me, I mean, I'm pretty spot on with what you guys are saying. I used to think that soulmates were only romantic, and then I realized that the people that I consider my soulmates the most are like my 2 best friends who I've had since we're 8 or 9 years old. I think we're spoon fed a lot of, excuse my French, but bullshit about soulmates.
Yeah.
And you've got to do a lot of I don't know, just figuring it out and working through your own stuff and not falling into the Disney version of what a soulmate is. Because I honestly think that rhetoric is quite dangerous too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, there's actually a question. I'll put it up right now.
Okay. Is there a difference? Hi, Joe. Is there a difference between soulmates and kindred spirits? You answer first. Ladies first.
Gosh.
You got 30 seconds and I'm coming in.
Okay, go for it. I have to think about that one for a second.
Hi, cousin Tony Jackson. Is there a difference between soulmates and kindred spirits? Wait, I'm going to answer that. I think there is a difference, because your mate is who you choose to spend your time with. I think, here's an example, Joe. I think the cat, our producer, and I are kindred spirits. I think we're kindred spirits. We didn't grow up together, but our relationship is effortless. We see things on the same level. We have the same ideas. Who we are as people are very, very much in line, right? So Kat and I would be kindred spirits. You and I would be soulmates, or kindred mates. Even. You see, kindred soulmates.
Yeah, kindred soulmates.
Kindred soulmates. Kindred soulmates. Yes, Joe, that was quite a fancy question. Yeah. Yes. And she said, "Hi, my babes. I wanted you to think," and you did. But so to answer your question, there is a difference. Because your kindred spirit does not necessarily, a kindred spirit is not necessarily your mate. You see what I'm saying? You can have many kindred spirits, and you can have many soulmates, but your mate is your mate, not necessarily your romantic mate, but your mate. Like, hi, matey.
Oh God.
Hey, matey.
I think we're both soulmates and kindred spirits.
No, we are. But here's the deal. I don't think you can be. All right, here we go. Joe has started some stuff.
Okay.
I don't think you can be a soulmate without being a kindred spirit.
Right. Maybe the kindred spirit part is first, and then the soulmate.
There you go.
There you go.
So, all right, Joe. So, Joe, you know Joe's husband.
Yeah.
Right. They were probably kindred spirits. There it is. That's what I'm just getting ready to say, Joe. They were kindred spirits before they became soulmates. Right. See what I did there? I did that. Yeah. So, Kat, what were you saying, honey?
Dear Lord. No, I completely agree. I think, please don't take this the wrong way or anything, Norwood, but I do agree on the kindred spirits thing, because for me, there are people that come into my life that are so new and unusual that I feel like I haven't met that person before in a previous life or something. But for some reason it works. And that's how I feel about you. But I feel that the situation is different between you and Debbie, because it's more than apparent that you guys have known each other in previous lives. And you also have that kindred thing going on. So while I do think that you can be a kindred spirit and not a soulmate, I don't think that the opposite is possible. Yeah. That's where I am with it.
And because I don't think kindred spirits would do this, but soulmates would, bestie. But soulmates would. Bestie, 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 bestie. Bestie, 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 bestie. You're the best bestie. Better than all the rest.
I can't believe you're having me act this crazy at this hour of the morning, and that you picked it so high. Where were we going? Where was it so high? Oh my God!
That's a soulmate thing, because we're not romantically involved. It's for real a soulmate thing. Who are kindred spirits?
Yeah.
I like that question, Joe.
Yeah, I like that too.
I like that question a lot. All right. So, what else, Deb? Before we go, what else?
I think that, isn't it interesting? We can be more compassionate to our soulmates too, because we understand them more.
Going back to compassion.
Yes, of tying it all in.
I see what you did there.
Yes.
In the beginning of the show, for those who weren't tuned in, then we talked about our ninth commandment on spiritual sessions, which is learning to be more compassionate. So there's a tie-in to the compassion, but to compassion into soulmates or kindred spirits. But because we are soulmates or kindred spirits, do you think that within that we would need more compassion? Because if we're soulmates, that goes with the territory, doesn't it? Or did I just confuse you?
I actually think soulmates are automatically compassionate. You know, I think the reason that our souls recognized each other is we have all those components of that soul group. And I think compassion is part of soulmates is a very strong connection. You can't, I personally believe you can't be soulmates if you're not elevated at a certain level of the soul
Mhm.
to be able to meet
Mhm.
each other.
Mhm.
So I feel the reason you're, I mean, the way that we are brought together is so like, oh my God, you can see how spirit orchestrated that.
Mhm.
It's not even a joke when you look at it. It's a story we tell over and over. So it's spirit completely brought us together and said, right, both of you are ready to meet each other as souls. So we had to go through all those things of elevation and understanding and growing when we finally met. So the soul, our souls already have that compassion in it.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I'm thinking more and more about Joe's question, and it's actually kind of really nice because and I'm going to use Kat as the example again. One of the reasons why we're soulmates is and actively soulmates. We sing together, we work together, we laugh together, we cry together. We're mates.
Yeah.
Right? So as mates, we share a whole bunch of stuff. And romance has nothing to do with it.
No.
Kat and I are kindred spirits in the sense that spiritually we connect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just on so many levels, but we're not mates. She has a mate, right, that she spends her time with, and this, that, and the other. And our souls are definitely mates.
Yeah.
And I know you want your soulmate to be a little more interesting in mine, but that's another show. Yeah, so I really like that. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I like not confusing the kindred spirit with the soulmate. So I guess to answer Joe's question, they are two different things.
Yeah.
They're two different things, both wonderful, because sometimes if your soulmate gets on your nerves, you go to the kindred spirit to deal with the soulmate issue.
Oh my God, why did you just overcomplicate that? Oh my goodness.
All right, listen. It is early in the morning here in Thailand and late where you guys are. So thanks for hanging out with us as we have come off of our hiatus.
Yes.
We are here every Sunday, same time, same place. Thanks for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. Joe, thanks for that amazing
that was
question.
Great. That was a really good
Amazing question. All right, I wish I could say that was part of the show, but it's actually my doggone phone ringing. Hold on, people. It might be my order. Hold on. They hung up. All right. So listen, we're going to see you next week. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, Joe said we're a bunch of Looney Tunes. But that's what we like to do here, Joe and everybody watching. This is Spiritual Sessions Sundays with Debbie Cray and Norwood Young. But the tagline is spirituality for dummies. Meaning it's not that hard to live a spiritually wonderful and rewarding life. And it's just about what you put out is what you get. So yeah. So and Debbie's an expert, as the #1 psychic in Thailand and number 10 in the world according to TripAdvisor and other situations. So, your website, babes.
Oh, DebbieCray.com.
Debbie's a international psychic and healer. So she gives you all the stuff that's that is documented and research and study. And I give you my point of view from a layman's lifestyle. Yeah? So that's what we are about. So listen, everybody, we will see you next week. All right. Huh? No. Oh, no. Okay, the mantra. Oh, I thought it was the one where I sang. I know what the mantra is. I thought it was the other one from one of the other shows. Speaking of other shows, before I leave, Mondays and Fridays, right here, same time, Night School. Night School is a classroom where we are in our classroom at night with four other adults sharing topics and experiences and opinions. And it's everything Spiritual Sessions is not. The F-bomb is dropped. I mean, it's an adult program. On Wednesday is just Norwood, and I'm celebrating 40 years in the entertainment industry. So it's a plethora of Norwood, and all my insanity and stuff. And of course, here we are at Spiritual Session Sundays. So with that being said, your day is designed in perfection. And anything that goes against that perfection is a trap. Don't fall for it.
Hello, everyone. everyone. Welcome to Betty's Pop-Up Shop for fun and fashion.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Hey everybody, it's your man Norwood, and I am so excited because this year I am celebrating 40 years in this crazy business of show. So please join me and follow me on TikTok as I take you down memory lane at crazy glimpses of 40 years in the entertainment business. Follow me on TikTok at Norwood Young.
Pieces of a Dream and Norwood.
We've been friends for a long time. He's crazy.
Just Norwood.
You say that you think that you love me, but girl, it's too late, 'cause I know that I do love you. Oh.
Hey, it's me, Norwood, and I am celebrating 40 years in show business. So I have decided to go global. So join me for my daily thoughts and memories on Facebook and Instagram. And you can find all my shows, Just Norwood, Spiritual Sessions, Sundays with Debbie Craig, and Night School by subscribing to my YouTube page, Norwood Young's Wonderful World. And then last but not least, I will be going down memory lane for the next year on TikTok, showing you a glimpse of daily craziness and the insanity that has gone on over the past 40 years. Thank you.